Okay, boys and girls, what we're going to be making now is a chicken stock. Okay, what we're going to start with is, this is the carcass from 2 rotisserie chickens from the grocery store. I use them because, well, it's actually the same price. If I were to buy chickens, they're $10 each. If I buy them rotisserie, $10 each. I can actually get sales on the rotisserie chicken because when it goes cold, they cut the price, which is weird. You would think that it'd be cheaper to sell raw chicken. Regardless, this is the remainder of the meat because this is actually leftover chicken. We ate most of the breast and stuff. So this is the dark meat. I'm going to be making a chicken soup with that later. So you want to take the chicken, any strings or any plastic bits that hold it together. Sometimes supermarkets like to do that. So you just take all that out and throw that in the garbage. Then you rip the chicken apart and you tear as much meat off the bone as you can. And you want to take the bone, cartilage, the skin, anything else except for the meat, and put it in its own bowl. This is a bowl of not potato peelings. This is a bowl of carrot peelings, onion peelings, bits of onion. Basically, whenever I'm cooking and I have some peelings left over or anything like that, I put them aside because they're always good to go in a stock. This is actually the one time in cooking when appearance and texture don't matter. So if you have an onion that's going a little bit soft, or carrot peelings or anything like that, you just throw them away. I mean, you don't throw them away, you just keep them aside. Maybe in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, or if you know you're going to be making a stock in the next day or so, you can put them in a bowl. You just want to keep a hold of them. Now, I also have a couple of another carrot and a celery because it didn't quite be enough. Now, I've got, if you can look in here, like the odds and the bits and bobs, the ends, just pieces cut off the carrots, the green leafy parts off the celery, the ends, just whatever. This is a piece of onion that I made an omelet, so I had a half onion in the fridge. Just threw it all in. Now, you don't have to be fancy with that at all. You have a carrot here, you just take it, break it up, just throw it in. Same with the celery. Break it up and throw it in. Now, I have here a really big pot. Ooh, watch my knives. Sorry, I was just busy doing the prep work for another video, and I decided to throw this together for you. Okay, this is the big stock pot we're going to be working with. Okay, and so we just take the chicken bones and we throw them in, making sure to get everything. Like I said, that's 2 whole chicken carcasses there. Looks like less because it's all broke up. Okay, we pour all that in. Like I say, every little bit counts. We're actually just going for the flavor. We're not actually caring about the actual thing because we're going to throw all this out. Okay, now, these are bay leaves. These are ones I harvested myself, and they are freshly dried. So I'm going to add 2 large bay leaves in there, just because I like bay. If you don't have your own dried bay leaf, you can buy it, or you can even buy the fresh now in the grocery store. I'm not as partial to the fresh. I don't find it as flavorful, though. Okay, and we're going to add a little bit of pepper. Not much. And a little bit of salt. And a little bit more. This is kosher salt, so it's a fluffier salt. It looks like more salt than it is, so don't worry. I'd say I added about a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper would probably do. You don't want the pepper and the salt to overpower the stock. You just want it to be there as sort of an aftertaste. Later on, as it cooks, you can try it if you want. Not really a point to. Just, you know. Okay, from here, if you want, you can add in some rosemary. I find it adds a sort of... I'm not as 100% a rosemary fan as other people, so I don't. You can add any other vegetables that are starting to go around the kitchen. If you have maybe some turnip, you can add turnip or turnip peelings. Or if you have, I wouldn't add tomato because we're not doing like a tomatoey stock. It's a chicken stock, so you want to add like lighter colored things, nothing that would strongly tinge the flavor. So turnip, or if you had green onions or anything like that, just pretty much anything you want to throw in. Now, what you're going to do there is you're going to cover everything up with a nice layer of cold water. I'm going to take this to the sink in a minute. You want to cover everything nicely, maybe to around here in the pot. And then you put it on the burner. You want to put it on a fairly high burn at first until it starts to bubble. And then the second it starts to bubble, you want to take it right down so that you just want a bare simmer. I'll use the magic of YouTube to show you what that looks like once I get this up. So, be right back. Okay, now as you can see through the magic of YouTube, the stock has been brought to a boil, which took a little while with this really big pot. See, give it a little stir. Now, at this point, you want to adjust the heat so that it's on just the barest of simmers. You see, we're not actually reducing this. We will later, but right now we're not reducing it. We are just trying to milk as much flavor out of all this as possible. It's too bad you guys don't have smell-o-vision, because this smells delicious. Now, you'll notice that there's this yellow stuff forming. That's the fat and the collagen and everything coming out of the meat, which is really good. Now, the reason we put it on a simmer instead of just boiling the hell out of it is because we want it to be nice and flavorful, and we want it to have a nice clear texture. See how the bubbles are just barely breaking the surface? Now we want to leave it on there for at least 4 hours. The longer, the better. And we'll come back. Now, as we can see from the video, the stock has been reduced considerably. That's actually much better for long-term storage. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the stock and freezing it in muffin tins once it cools. Okay, boys and girls, this is just going to be a quick tip of what to do with the stock once you've reduced it. In here, we have quite a bit of stock. Now, it's quite cloudy. That's okay. The stock is just stock at this point. We can further clarify it by running it through a cheesecloth. And from there, what we would do is we would clarify it. I might do a video in the future about how to clarify it. But once it's clarified beyond that point, it's pretty much just consomme, which is really nice. But I just want some quick, cheap chicken stock just to throw in things, right? So, this is nice and cooled. Oh, don't splash it around too much. Now, the way we're going to store this is pretty good. I like to take some muffin tins and some ice cube trays, and I fill them like so, and freeze them. What happens there is I have a bunch of stock pucks and cubes that I can just grab out of a Ziploc bag in the freezer whenever I want and throw into a recipe. Like if I'm making a sauce, like a gravy, or pretty much anything you would use water for, stock is better. Ooh, making a mess. Table's already wrecked. This has been a 2-day-long stock adventure for me, and my kitchen shows the signs. Usually it's not as messy, but when you're trying to work around for everything in the video, it gets a little So what you do is you freeze the pucks in the muffin tin, and then when they're frozen solid, you take them out, run a little bit of hot water on the back, and that'll get them to come loose. And from there, you put them on a cookie sheet and you freeze them again. That freezes them firm again. And you could take them and put them in a bag without them all melding together. Ah. Oh, let me take a spoon. I overfilled that one, just a pinch. Okay. That's perfect. I have a few more trays, so I'm not going to make you suffer through all that. Once they're frozen, I'll take them out again and show you and what to do then. Let's do that now.